It is going to be Aliaskhab Khizriev versus Mahmoud Muradov. Khizriev's 14-0. He's 5-0 his last five. He's coming off that submission victory over Denis Tululin. That was out almost 2 years ago, so it's been a kind of a long time since he last fought, actually. He is fighting against Mahmoud Muradov, 26-8. He is 3-2 in his last five, coming off that dominating decision victory over Brian Barberina. Both of these fighters are around the same age. However, Mahmoud will be the taller fighter and have a slight reach advantage. Kizriev is actually a minus 155 favorite right now. He opened up at a minus 225 and was actually bet to an underdog at one point. But he has since settled to a minus 155 favorite. So some dog action has been taken on Mahmoud. Right now, Gerard, I'll let you start off this breakdown. What do you think about Kizriev versus Muradov here?
Yeah, so Kizriev, I don't know if people have been ducking him because he hasn't been that active as of
Yep.
late, and he's already 33. Um, he might have probably maybe the better grappling versus Mahmoud, but Mahmoud is no slouch as well in terms of the grappling. Um, Kizriev, I think he's pretty sneaky. He has some sneaky good striking, but he does look hittable, and Tululian was able to hit him with some nice shots in that fight. So Mahmoud might have some some good shots to get in there. Um, I think Mahmoud, he's pretty solid everywhere. He has nice kicks, good wrestling, and I actually think he looked pretty good against Kyle. And Kyle's a pretty good grappler himself. He's a contender in this division, and I like the quality of experience that Mahmoud has, and he's been the more active fighter. Kizriev, I guess he kind of has that s- scariness about him. I mean, is he Dagestani or
I think
he's
he
kind of
is.
have he has like that type of vibe, but he's undefeated and I'm not sure if his resume has really tested him as much. He might have just been fighting some lower level fighters. I'm not sure, but Mahmoud is going to be a real test, I think. And Mahmoud as a dog in this fight, I think I'm going to lean Mahmoud Muradov in this one. I think he's just the more experienced guy here, and he's he also has the wrestling, and I think Mahmoud can switch it up some more. The only thing that he has to avoid is Kizriev possibly getting his back or getting into too much submission threats. I think Mahmoud just needs to keep Kizriev in distance and have the more dominant wrestling positions. So my pick here is Mahmoud, and I'm gonna lean on experience in this one. So yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, Kizriev, well-rounded fighter, mainly uses wrestling though, more often than not. He likes to move forward and strike with high volume, able to chain together hands and kicks, so he does a good job mixing in both of those strikes. He's also a good wrestler, as I mentioned. I mean, able to just attack takedowns using single, double legs, high volume, ground and pound once on top. Solid submission skills, has some pretty nice chokes as well. Muradov is another well-rounded fighter who uses striking or wrestling depending on his opponent's weaknesses. He likes to stay at range and counter with accurate shots. Has a wide variety of strikes he can use, kicks, knees. He showed some solid wrestling skills, mainly in his last win against Barberena and landed 13 takedowns. However, he only controlled Barberena for 5 minutes. So I think that once Muradov is able to shoot for takedowns, and once he's on top, he can land ground and pound as well. Both of these fighters' gas tank seem to be an issue from what I've seen. I think that they have shown to just have less in volume and pace later on in the fight. I do believe that Kizriev will prove to just be the more dominant wrestler, and I think he's just going to turn this into a wrestling match, and that will be the determining factor in this fight. My pick here is Kizriev via decision or sub, and I actually like him as a potential parlay piece. And the only reason why, though, is that while he was somewhat impressive against Kaio, just in that previous match against GM3, I mean, we need to look at what happened there. GM3 took this guy
Mm.
down 3 times, doing pretty good in the striking exchanges, and then GM3 found the sub, which was a rear naked choke. And Kizriev loves to attack those kind of chokes. So I could see something similar happening in there as well. So that's the reason why I think I'm leaning that side. And I just wasn't too impressed by Muradov in his last victory either. I mean, I think that he should have finished Brian Barberina via sub, especially he took him down like 13 times. So yeah, I mean, but I
Yeah.
do see your point about Kizriev potentially not, he's kind of unproven the UFC level so far. And in his last fight against Dennis Talulin, I mean, he was kind of getting pieced up. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think he's just going to bring out the wrestling shoes here and just take this guy down, try to sub him.